Hey y'all, welcome to Bluff City Life with me, Gina Neely. We have a great show for you today, so grab your lunch and come on back. Up for a walk or time on the water? A look at the fun you can have at Wolf River and see the new additions to the trail. Plus, giving teens a shot at success. I'll show you how this golf tournament aims high and how you can join in. But first, roll up your sleeves and slide on your gloves, how you can further your future and help meet the workforce demands of the healthcare industry. When you think of getting involved in the healthcare industry, often lack of experience is a deterrent. But this Northwest Wednesday, connect with the program that will equip you in no time, regardless of your educational background.
When people think about surgical techs, they just think that you're just somebody that stands there and just hands the surgeon instruments. But it's so much more than that.
The demand is just so high for surgical technologists. It's such a growing field. You know, it used to be we took a patient to surgery, we made a big incision, we did our surgery, and patient stayed in the hospital 3 or 4 days and then went home. You know, today we're doing so many procedures outpatient. They come in, we do their surgery, they go home the same day. So because of that higher increase in technology, it demands more higher skill level from students and then as a surgical tech, and it just makes the demand greater. We have our students that we start off with basic surgical skills, things like doing a surgical scrub, and then learning how to put on their gown and gloves, learning how to set up the sterile back table. And we start off with just basic procedures, and before the end of the year we have taught them how to do just a basic general surgery, laparoscopic surgeries, robotic surgeries, orthopedic surgeries, cardiovascular surgeries. So we advance as the 3 semesters go by so that their skill level and their knowledge grows every semester. So our first semester is spent entirely in the classroom or lab. We go to clinicals the second semester, but our first semester, the very first day we'll start lecture, second day in the classroom we're going into the lab. Because when we start teaching skills, in order for the student to really understand the skill, they need to perform the skill. So we teach it in the book and then we go straight to the lab, we're hands-on, and we show them the skill, have them practice the skill, and then we check off on the skill to make sure that they have an understanding of that. So we learn those skills all through the first semester. It's very much hands-on. We are trying to keep up with technology. Technology changes so quickly, the latest thing being robotic surgeries. You know, robotic surgeries kind of branches off of laparoscopic surgery, and that the setup is basically the same, except you have a surgeon sitting at a console actually working those robotic arms. But that raises the bar on the skill level for our students because we have to teach them that new technology and how to perform those skills in order to keep up with that. We have a mannequin that we can do laparoscopic procedures on. We also have 2 simulators that we can use a computer screen to simulate those procedures. So we're able to simulate many procedures, but we do get our students into the clinical sites very early. Beginning of their second semester, they are at the clinical sites actually scrubbing in and doing real cases. So they have exposure early on.
They're very hands-on and like they're very one-on-one. Like if there's anything that you're struggling with, like they will sit down with you and go over it again and again and again until you get it.
I've loved my instructors. I've had a great time. I have built a personal relationship with all 3 of my instructors. I think that there are so many opportunities, especially right now with surgical technology. There are so many job shortages, and not only that, there are lots of positions for surgical techs themselves, but you can also further your education with starting something like this. You know, surgical tech's only a year consecutive, so you start here, you could eventually end up being, you know, a nurse anesthesia, things like that you have the room to advance with.
It can be a 1-year program in which you can start with no college education whatsoever, and 3 semesters later, in a year, you can be working at a healthcare facility as a surgical technologist, making a very good living, and then you can continue that education to further that. You know, after that year, you can go to work in a surgical facility as a surgical tech. You can go to work as a manufacturer representative with some companies that bring, for example, orthopedic implants come in. You can work as a manager over central sterile processing. So there's so many things that surgical technologists can do now. It doesn't stop just after that first year of school. You know, a lot of healthcare programs, you always hear how they're going to weed out a lot of students. At Northwest, the entire School of Health Sciences takes pride in retention. You know, our retention and success rates are very high, and we attribute that to the willingness of faculty to be helpful with students, coach them along, and get them to success. The opportunities are such that the last 4 to 5 years, no matter how many students we graduate, we can't fill all the vacancies. So currently we have 25 students that will graduate in July, the end of July, and probably 3/4 of them already have job offers, and the others will have by the time they complete. Most of our facilities have an internship program, and students can apply for that internship, and provided that they meet the expectations, and they always do, then that facility hires them as a permanent employee. So all of our facilities, most offer that internship program, but even the ones that don't, almost all of our students are placed in jobs before they ever complete the program. The very few number that have not had jobs just within a week or 2 after completion. But every student that wants to go to work as a surgical tech goes to work as a surgical tech.
The medical field is growing, and you have an opportunity to further your future by helping someone else. More ways to better yourself and connect with nature after the break. Next on Bluff City Life, nature lovers, you might want to head down to Wolf River. See the new features added to the Greenway.